Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, 5 days to go, 5 days before we hear what the CDC is gonna do. But in the meantime, let's talk about all the new technology going on the cruise ships and the possibility of the privacy issues that people are concerned about. So first off, some of the cons that people are saying is they don't really want the cruise ship company to know where they are on the ship at all times. And I'm kind of going to myself, that one is a kind of a moot point. Because technically, there's cameras everywhere on a cruise ship. You can't go 5 feet down a cruise ship without them being able to spot you on a camera and track you if they wanted to track you. So is it really a big deal the cruise ship knows that, hey, last night you went to dinner at this restaurant or last night you went to the theater to watch this show? Is that really a big deal on the cruise ships? I don't really think that's such a huge problem as far as tracking. In fact, think about it. If you're on a cruise ship with your family and one of your young kids, 5 or 6, wanders off and disappears, wouldn't it be nice just to be able to track them on the app and find out where they are so you're not worried about them? You're out with a bunch of friends, everybody goes back to their room, and in the morning you notice that your friend hasn't gone back to the room, but you can find out where they are just to make sure that they're safe. That sounds like not that big of a problem to me. As far as putting your banking information on it. Now, this technology's actually been around quite a while. Walt Disney World has this exact same type of technology, and it's been like 7 years since they've introduced the magic bands, and there hasn't been a problem with them. I've used them. Millions of people have used them without a big issue. So it actually makes things easier. If you also remember, when you go on a cruise ship, the old way you got a card. Well, that card had all your banking information on it just the same as the new bands do. So it's really sort of a toss-off as far as it's the same type of thing. The same information is on there. The only thing is those bands can now be tracked a little more thoroughly. Now, if it turns out that somebody can come on the cruise ship and break into the system and track people or, break into their individual bands, but they haven't been able to do it at a big place like Walt Disney World where they could just go into a hotel and stay at a hotel for a few days and try and do it. Hasn't happened yet. So this kind of technology is very, very, I won't say completely proof, theft proof, but, even somebody who steals your band would still need the ID, need the passwords that you've created. So in some cases, need the thumbprint that you need to use it. So it's not an all-access pass into all your money and your privacy. So that really is, it's no different than your own bank cards that you carry around with you right now. All your information's on them. If they know how to get into it, they can steal it, right? So it's not a big deal. Although, people are always worried about their privacy, and I'm worried about my information. Everything that I sign into has two-step verification. So if I ever get hacked, they still can't get in. So I understand that solution. But if you're going to look at some of the positives that's coming from the technology of this system, one thing you can, especially with the things that are going on now with the restarting of the cruise ship industry, and we're trying not to congregate a whole bunch of people in one area. We're not trying to touch points. We want to limit the amount of touch points, limit the amount of personal contact with everybody. These kind of systems are going to help that immensely. First of all, embarkation and disembarkation is going to be much, much faster than it was before. You're going to be able to pre-sign in. You're going to be able to walk up, and you're going to scan, and your picture's going to be there. The person's just going to look at you through a glass bowl, and away you go. You're going through, you're in. It's much faster. You've registered, your money's on your band, everything's done. Onto the ship you go. You arrive at your scheduled appointment time. It can go, if they do it right, it can go way faster than those long, long lines that we've seen sometimes in the past. Also, how about that muster drill? Now, a lot of people say they like the muster drill. I could care less about the muster drill. It's not a big deal to me. But I've always said, why couldn't you do the muster drill from the TV in your room and be able to just scan that you've done it and taken the course? And, well, that's the way it's going to go now. That's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to have either an iPad or on your TV, and you're just going to watch the video front to end. It'll play, it'll register that it's played in your room, and then you'll scan your band, or you'll be told that you have to go to your muster station where you'll walk up. There'll be a scanner there. You walk up, beep, you're done. No more waiting for late people to show up at there. No more sitting in the sun. No more crowds of 250 people being put into a bar or a restaurant at this time where we're supposed to social distance whenever we can. Another good sign. Also, some of this technology now will be making things a lot better on your TV set, and some cruise ships you can go on, you can see your bill, you can order dining, you can order, do all kinds of things, while other cruise ships you can't. Well, with all this new system going in, pretty much all the ships out there, you're going to be able to do whatever you need to do. But another good thing, think of if somebody comes down sick on board. Right now they have to get up, cross through the entire ship, down into the medical facility, sit in the waiting room, and see a doctor. All that is connecting points, right? All that is possible infection on the way. Now, with the new system, they're going to be able to do virtual first meetings with the doctors, where they're going to be able to sit in their room, they'll look at an iPad, or it'll come up on the TV set or on their phone. The doctor will go over their symptoms, see how severe it is, how they're feeling, and they could possibly isolate that person and set up procedures before that person ever leaves the room. And that not only cuts down on the contact, like the tracing and the contacts with other people on the cruise ship and other passengers, also the staff, also the doctors. Think of it from the first time. Doctors around March were getting sick as well, and they were wearing as much protective gear at the time that they could, that they thought was necessary. But they were going to visit 400 and 500 people. Well, your risk of infection gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and who knows, they could have been spreading it to other passengers because they've come in contact with somebody. So if you can eliminate that process at the beginning, as we know, most people are asymptomatic. This technology, who knows what it's going to have. Down the road, you could have a thing in your room where you can walk over and it'll check your temperature right there. Or you'll stand back in the doorway will open, there'll be an attendant there, and they'll scan your temperature, or they'll administer a test, and they're not interacting in and out going through the cruise ship. So a lot of things with this technology could really help the cruise industry keep things going. We all heard just the other day that one of the cruise ships, not the Grandiosa, sorry, but one of the Costa cruise ships had 7 passengers test positive after they get off one of their cruise ships. That technology that they had on the ship for their tracing allowed them to isolate them, figure out exactly who they had come into contact with for more than 15 minutes at a time, check those people out immediately, and completely contain the spread of the virus to only those passengers. It didn't run rampant through the ship. It didn't run rampant through the crew. No other passengers and no other crew tested positive after they found out those original people. So isn't that kind of worth it right now to live with this technology? And until it's proven that it's actually, any kind of, Some people almost think like these bands will show little figures of a human being climbing onto their bed and they can tell what you're doing in your room. It's a dot. It's just a dot, single dot in a room. It doesn't wander around your room like this. It just shows you're in your room, or you're in a hallway, or you're in the theater. Now they can track you in the theater, a rough location. For instance, the medallion, if you order a drink online and you're sitting in the theater, you can do it on your phone and they can deliver the drink to your seat there. Or they can deliver it to your room, but there's no little stick figure looking like you going, I'm over here and look what I'm doing. And no, look, he's in the shower right now. That's not how this technology works. So yeah, right now I kind of feel that the pros outweigh the cons of this kind of technology. And if it was the first time it was being introduced, we might be a lot more skeptical. But like I said, the exact same technology has been going on in Walt Disney World now for over 7 years. And I haven't really heard too big of problems. I heard a lot of concern at the beginning. You don't hear any concern anymore. Well, let me know what you guys think. Do you think it's worth this privacy issue? Do you think it's a non-factor? Do you think technology's everywhere anyway? I mean, if you own an Alexa, if you own a smartphone, people can know where you are because they can track your phone, they can track your home, they can track your Xbox, they can track all that stuff. So really, going on a cruise ship and wearing a little wristband around your wrist for 14 days or 7 days, is it really that big a deal? Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.